Hi everyone, welcome back to class. This is lesson number 44, and in this lesson we are going to have a quick review of modal verbs, and we're going to talk about how they're useful. Now, modal verbs are used in a variety of situations, and in this lesson we're going to look at how they're used to express possibility, to make deductions about something, to express obligations or necessity about something, to express prohibition, and to express absence of necessity. So first, we typically use modal verbs to talk about a possibility in the present or in the future by using the verbs could, may, and might. And then after we use these verbs, we add the bare infinitive. Okay, so could, may, might plus the bare infinitive. For example, we can say, she could be at work right now. Or you could say, she may be at work right now. Or you could say, she might be at work right now. Okay, so when you say this sentence in English, or when you say this sentence to English speakers at least, it sounds like you don't really know exactly something for sure. Okay, so you're very uncertain, but you do think it's still a possibility. Okay, it is still a possibility, but you don't know. Okay, so if we want to talk about a possibility in the past, then we have to use the verbs may or might plus have plus the past participle. Okay, so for example, I may have read that book, but I cannot remember. Okay, I may have read that book, but I can't remember. Or you could say, I might have read that book, but I cannot remember. I can't remember, okay? So I may have read that book, I might have read that book, but I cannot remember. Whenever we want to talk about something that happened in the past but didn't eventually happen, we use the form could plus have plus the past participle. Okay, so could plus have plus the past participle. So for example, they are lucky. They could have fallen. Okay, and you know what fallen means, like, right? You trip and you fall. Okay, they are lucky. They could have fallen. Okay, so we're talking about something that possibly could have happened in the past, but it didn't. Okay, it didn't happen. Now, when we want to talk about something that is improbable to happen in the present or in the future, then we use the verbs may not, or might not, okay? And then you add the bare infinitive again. So again, may not, might not, plus the bare infinitive. For example, I may not go to the picnic tomorrow. Or you can say, I might not go to the picnic tomorrow. Okay, so you're not sure if you're going to go or not, okay? And we're talking about something that's going to happen in the future, okay? I might not go to the picnic tomorrow, right? Like 50% yes, 50% no. I'm not sure, okay? I may not, I might not go, okay? You can use both of them. Doesn't matter which one you use. And so, this one's probably pretty easy. So let's go ahead and continue, because apart from expressing possibilities, we also use modal verbs to make deductions. For example, when we want to express a positive deduction about the present or the future, then we use the verbs must plus have plus the past participle. For example, he must have been busy because he didn't pick up the phone. Okay, so we're talking about the past. Whenever you use the past participle, we're talking about the past. Okay, have plus the past participle, we talk about the past. He must have been busy because he didn't pick up the phone. So somebody did not answer the phone. Okay, and so you're thinking, oh, it's because he was busy. That's why. He was very busy. He must be very busy at work. So that's the reason why he didn't pick up the phone. Okay. Also, she must have been tired after work. Okay, same sort of thing. She must have been tired. You know, we're making a deduction that she works all day, and when she goes home, she's probably very, very tired. So we're talking about the past. She must have been tired yesterday because she didn't come to the restaurant with her friends. Okay, so We're making a deduction in this case. All right, so we're going to go ahead and continue, and we're going to talk about expressing a negative deduction. Okay, so when we want to talk about a negative deduction, then we have to use can't plus the bare infinitive. Okay, so can't plus the bare infinitive to express a negative deduction about the present or the future. For example, it can't be true. Okay, it's like, no way, it can't be true. Really? No, seriously? Nah, it can't be true. Or, you can't be serious. Okay, you can't be serious, right? When your friend maybe tells a joke or tells you a fact that is so unbelievable that you can't believe it. You can say, wow, you can't be serious. Really? Okay, you can't be serious. When you want to make a positive deduction about the past, then you have to use this. You have to say can't or couldn't. Okay, you can use one or the other, can't or couldn't, plus have plus the past participle. Okay, so when we want to say something like that, we're going to basically, remember, we're talking about, it's similar to this one, but here we're talking more about the past. Okay, when we want to express the negative deduction about the past. Okay, so you can't have seen that movie. It has not come out yet. Or you could say, you couldn't have seen that movie. It has not come out yet. Okay, so the movie has not come out yet. It's not in the movie theaters. Okay, they are still producing the film. They are still directing the film. Okay, they are still creating the movie. You couldn't have seen that movie, right? You couldn't have seen that movie yesterday. You told me that you saw that movie? No, I don't believe you. You couldn't have seen that movie. You can't have seen that movie. It has not come out yet. Okay, it's not available. People can't see it right now. Next week, yes. Okay, today, no. So let's go ahead and move on, okay? Because now let's talk about obligations and necessity. All right, so in lesson 23, we talked about the modal verbs must and have to. And when we express obligations or necessity in English, these verbs are very handy. When we want to express a personal obligation in the present, that's when we typically use must plus the bare infinitive. All right, guys? So for example, I must complete the project before class begins, even though it's not due until next week. Okay, so we're talking about something that we feel ourselves a personal responsibility to do. In this case, you feel that you have to finish, you have to complete your project for school. Okay, even though it's not due until next week. Okay, it's not due this week, it's due next week. Okay, not now, but in the future, next week. Okay, so I must complete the project before class begins, even though it's not due until next week. Okay, in this case, using the word must is like you're expressing a personal obligation. Let's not forget that English speakers typically use must when they express a personal obligation, a subjective obligation, or what the speaker thinks is necessary in the sentence. Okay, so oftentimes a speaker will also say, I have to complete the project before class begins. Okay, they can say that, all right? But in this case, to speak grammatically correct, we say must, okay, for personal obligations. But in America, informally, with our friends and family, a lot of people say, I have to complete the project. Okay, so you can use both, what you want, okay? You use what you want, all right? So, alrighty, whenever we want to express an external obligation in the present, that's when we have to use have to plus the bare infinitive. Okay, so you have to show your ID to purchase beer. Okay, your ID card, your driver's license, your passport, something like that. You have to show your ID. To purchase means to buy. Okay, you give your money to whoever's working at the grocery store or the gas station or wherever you're buying beer from. To purchase is to buy. All right, so have to plus the bare infinitive. All right, so in this case, we use have to because It's the law, all right? In America, the law is 21 years old before you can drink alcohol, okay? In other countries such as Canada, it's like, in some places it's 18, okay? But in America, it's 21. And so we use have to because it's the law. Therefore, it's an obligation by law to show an ID card, okay? Like a driver's license. English speakers normally use have to in cases like this because the obligation is impersonal and it's objective, okay? So whenever you're talking about obligations from whether it be school rules or the law, all right, then you use have to in those cases, okay? Have to, okay? So remember, we also can use have to for this one too. So it depends, but this is grammatically correct and this is grammatically correct because this is not in your control, right? The law is not in your control, okay? So it's not really a personal obligation, it's external, okay? It's something you can't really control yourself. Also, don't forget that when we want to express an obligation or a necessity in the past, we do sort of the same thing, but we use had, okay? We're talking about the past of have. So have in the past becomes had. Had to plus the bare infinitive. I had to take the bus to school when I was little. I had to take the bus to school when I was little, okay? Something that you could not control. It was an external obligation. You had to take the school bus, okay? Right? There's no choice there. You had to. And when we want to express an obligation or a necessity in the future, that's when we say will plus have to. Or you could say will plus need to. You choose, okay? Have to or need to. Doesn't matter. You'll have to work very hard to buy an expensive car. Or we could say, you'll need to work very hard to buy an expensive car. And here we have, you'll need to find out how many family members will attend the funeral. Okay, a funeral is when a family member passes away. Okay, when they no longer are living, when they die. Okay, to be very polite, we say pass away in English. For example, my grandma passed away. My grandpa passed away, my dad passed away, my mom passed away, okay? We don't really say, my grandma died, my grandpa died, my mom died, my dad died. You can say it, but oftentimes I hear people say pass away, he passed away, she passed away. It sounds a little soft, much softer. So you'll need to find out how many family members will attend the funeral, or you'll have to find out how many family members will attend the funeral. So have to or need to, you choose, okay? So let's go ahead and continue, okay? Now, when we are, oh yes, mustn't and then can. We're going to be talking about expressing prohibition now. And when we express prohibition, we use mustn't or can't. And then we add the bare infinitive, okay? So prohibition, you can't do this. It's not allowed. It's maybe even against the law, okay? Or it's against the school rules or something like this, guys, okay? You mustn't litter. You know what litter is when you throw your trash on the floor. Do I have trash anywhere? Yes, I think I have something here. Okay, this is what I use to wipe the board, guys. This is my eraser. All right, and it's all used, so now this is litter, okay? This is litter right here. It's no good. This is litter. You mustn't litter. Now, when we use litter as a verb, okay, as a verb, litter is like this. Okay, that's to litter. When you throw something on the ground, that's to litter, the verb, to litter. But litter as a noun, okay, just means something that is no good. Okay, something that is no good anymore. You mustn't litter, like what I did. Okay, I can't do that. I mustn't do that. You can't wear those, they're mine. Like we're talking about shoes, okay? Things that you put on your body, like a shirt or a jacket or pants. You can't wear those, they're mine. They belong to me. I bought them. All right? And finally, when expressing absence of necessity, we use words that I'm sure you're already quite familiar with. Whenever we want to talk about absence of necessity in the present or the future, we use don't have to, don't need to or needn't, and then the bare infinitive, okay? We don't have to leave today, okay? We don't have to leave today, okay? It's not a necessity, all right? I don't need to go grocery shopping, okay? Grocery shopping is when you go and buy food from the supermarket, or in America, we say grocery store, okay? You can say supermarket or grocery store, but I think people in America, like myself, we say grocery store. I say grocery store. Groceries are what you buy in terms of food. You needn't be angry. And you know what angry is when you're upset. You're angry, you're mad, you're not happy. You needn't be angry, okay? You needn't be angry, okay? You can also switch them. We needn't leave today. I needn't go to the grocery store, okay? And in this one, you needn't be angry. You don't have to be angry. You don't need to be angry, okay? So use which one you want. But guys, just to let you know, we don't really use the word needn't, okay? We don't use this word in American English, really. Actually, it's very uncommon in American English, and I would say that it's used more by the British people, okay? So in England and in that area of the world, but I don't hear this word often in America, okay? I don't hear people use it. So I would say don't have to or don't need to. Okay, so moving on, when we want to talk about the past, we have to say didn't have to or didn't need to. Okay, didn't have to, didn't need to, plus the bare infinitive. So this is the present or future, this is the past. Okay, I didn't need to water the plants that day. Okay, I didn't have to water the plants that day. Okay, so you choose which one you want. You can use both. I didn't need to water the plants that day. I didn't have to water the plants today. Okay? There was no obligation, or it wasn't necessary for you to do that. Okay? Both of these sentences you can use. It doesn't matter. All right? All right, everyone. That's it for this lesson. We're going to look at some more modal verbs in the next lesson. So please like and subscribe, and I'll definitely see you next time. Okay? See you next time. Bye.